Hello, I'm Dr. Craig Ingstrom, and I am a business communication instructor and communication coach. In a recent video, I shared a video interpretation of Audre Lorde's speech to the Modern Language Association's Lesbian and Literature panel. I am calling these creative videos a videology. I'm not certain that this is the best name for these, but what I am combining is the terms video and logos, a word that means speech. So it is a way of saying video speech. Why am I creating these videos? Foremost, I want to apply creative interpretation to speeches. In the case of Audre Lorde's speech, which was delivered in 1977, the particular videology is a way for me to show that the things she is saying, like, perhaps some of you here today, I am the face of one of your fears because I am black, I am a woman, and so on, could still be true today as it was in 1977. This leads me to my second reason, which is to introduce or even amplify the words of the marginalized. Words that are often articulated in meaningful and creative ways, probably because they have thought a lot about what they want to say. Which also means there are teaching opportunities in doing these kinds of videos. I can create a new way of looking at speech content and explain my interpretation. I can also use these videos as the basis of teaching how I produce them or how the authors of the speeches use language, such as figures of speech or other rhetorical devices, so that viewers can begin using their strategies in their own speeches. So there's a few reasons why I am doing them and some context for the videos. Let's review. Okay, so the first thing to note is that this 2-minute version is just under 200 words, but the speech is much, much longer. You can find an audio version of this as well as the text to it in the links provided in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead and start watching the video, and I will pause it when I feel like I want to provide some commentary.
I have come to believe over and over again that what is most important to me must be spoken, made verbal, and shared.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I produced this in PowerPoint because I want to create a video on how to create a cool cinematic introduction as well as other PowerPoint techniques. My goal as a business communication instructor is to challenge students to use free tools more effectively. So I will be making another video on how I created this video in PowerPoint, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that one when I post it. Now, the limitation of using PowerPoint, though, is that the sound quality is not as good as it would be otherwise because it is over-processed. There's also a glitch, if you catch it, at the end of that first slide because there's just so much animation going on in it. So this is not 100% ideal, but it is a cool way to do a opening to a PowerPoint presentations, and it's still cool that you can do this, and most likely you'll be doing it in a live scenario and not necessarily recording it into video anyways. So again, I will show you how to do this introduction in another video. Okay, just a few other things. The intro to the video is actually a video from Pexels.com, and a lot of the videos are actually from Pexels. These are free to use, but do note that I made donations to the creators because I believe that you should not be a freeloader. You should actually pay for the content you use, even if it is just a little bit. And the first videos come from an actual George Floyd protest. So this is immediately bringing this 1977 speech into the contemporary time. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep playing.
Even at the risk of having it bruised or misunderstood, that the speech...
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause there again, even though it's just immediately. But take note of the beautiful use of metaphor here. Her speech, right, she's saying my words need to be spoken even if they're going to be bruised. And that is just a really good use of metaphor, the use of bruised here. We normally don't think of words being, bruised, right? We don't think that our words can actually be bruised, but by saying that they can be bruised, by denying people their voice, it is like a flesh wound. So it is just a really good use of imagery here that I wanted to point out.
Speaking profits me beyond any other effect.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here again, and I want to note that she's using this word bruised, but that she also then pairs it with an analogy of profiting. And I think what she's saying is that the speaking profits her specifically, and it's beyond any other effect, she says. So regardless of the fact that the speaking might bruise her, that might be painful, she has to speak, right? So this speech is not to convince you, the listener. It is to make her feel more valuable and overcome any other effect, such as the bruising. The speech is not for the attendants necessarily, it is for Lorde at this moment. However, she does bring the audience in just a minute.
My silence has not protected me.
Okay, so I'm going to pause again right after the fire. And so she is noting here that she says, my silences have not protected me, which makes it very clear what the purpose of the speech is about. That it doesn't matter if it's going to be hurtful to me to speak my voice, I have to do it anyway. Now, I think here I made one error in the production of this video. I should have included the next line in her speech where Lorde states, your silences will not protect you. So this is the moment that she brings in the audience and makes it more meaningful to them. So I should not have cut that. I still actually had some free words to use with the voice actor. That was just a terrible error on my part. But note that in the original, she says, your silences will not protect you either. So they don't protect me and they're not going to protect you. And that's the moment she brings the audience in.
What are the words you do not have yet? What do you need to say? What are the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own until you will sicken and die of them, still in silence?
Okay, so this is probably the most emotional part of the video here, where I think you can make actual sense of the tyranny by the video that I chose. This is where the video is actually additive to the speech, where by adding some video to it, you get more from the viewing, the visual effect from it. So if you were just listening to the speech live or reading it in words, it's not going to have the same effect as the video. So hence why I think videologies are very powerful. Also note that the rhetorical device used here is the rhetorical question. And please take note that this is a good use of rhetorical question. Okay, so the first thing to note is that she has a crescendo with rhythm. Okay, so as she's asking the questions, it sort of builds up in intensity. And also note that there is a nice cadence to these questions. She says, what are the words you do not have yet? What do you need to say? What are the tyrannies you swallow day by day and attempt to make your own until you will sicken and die from them, still in silence? So there's sort of this like build up there, and the questions are shorter to longer if you sort of see that sentence structure. So you have that crescendo, and then also there's that nice cadence that obviously I can't capture, but would have been captured better by the speaker. It's also captured, I think, pretty well by the voice artist. And then there's this metaphor in there too I want to note, that is the tyrannies you swallow day by day. So you can't literally swallow tyrannies, but figuratively you can. And by doing this, you still get the sense then that this is something that is consumed. This is consuming her. And I also like then that she sort of pairs this well, that when you consume something, if it's not healthy, it makes you sick. And she says that it will sicken you and then you die from them, but still being in silence from doing it. So the remedy to this consumption of the tyranny is to voice things. So you get a lot of information from these rhetorical questions. And again, this is a very good use of rhetorical question. Unlike when you see younger speakers asking questions, often it's not very deliberate, but it just doesn't have the same effect. And finally, there is this sibilance, which is the repetition of the words S at the end, still in silence. You can hear that s. That's a very effective device as well. And I just love the vivid imagery in this, right? The swallowing things, remaining silent, you sicken and die from the indigestion, just really, really powerful speech making here.
Perhaps for some of you here today, I am the face of one of your fears, because I am a woman, because I am Black, because I am myself a Black woman, warrior, poet, doing my work. Come to ask you, are you doing yours? The fact that...
Okay, I'm going to stop there. This is actually one of my favorite sequences of the video, other than the lightning at the end, because it captures the silence. It focuses on the image with the small frame and really highlights the words. So this is the part I like from my recreation. But what about you? Tell me in the comments what scene you like from the video and what had the most impact on you. But for me, as I was designing this and as I'm rewatching it, still I'm very happy with the choices I made here to have the black and white text, and then this small version of Audre Lorde speaking with the voice, with the words that say, perhaps I'm the face of one of your fears. And there's sort of a delay there that pops it up. So I spent a lot of time on that. I hope you appreciate it as much as I appreciate it. Now, another thing I want to note about the sequence there is that you actually hear that cadence again. And now we have the application of that cadence with cacophony, which is the harsh sounds. And she creates this by using what's called consonants. This could just be by accident, but if you want to create things of uneasiness in your audience, you can use the harsh k sound. So because, black, work, ask. So you can kind of hear that k sound.
Because I am a woman. Because I am black. Because I am myself a black woman, warrior, poet, doing my work. Come to ask you, are you doing yours?
Of course, black woman warrior poet is the opposite of that then. Woman warrior has a soft sound despite its meaning. This has to be deliberate because I suppose she could have said something like, I'm a fighting feminist for the repetition, but woman warrior at least may sound soft. You know, it does. It just whoa has a soft sound to it, but what it implies to be a warrior is much different. So I think this is just a beautiful use of assonance as well as alliteration.
The fact that we are here and that I speak is an attempt to break that silence and bridge some of those differences between us, for it is not difference which immobilizes us, but silence. And there are so many silences to be broken.
Now, Lorde really has a way with words, and I highly recommend reading her works for that reason.
But silence. And there are so many silences to be broken.
So let's pause here. I just love that Tangi Green, the voice actor, takes a beat here at the very end. She really captures the moment of silence. And I have a link to her Fiverr page in the description in the event that you need to hire a voice actor. She was really great to work with. Now, I go with no sound of the actual lightning and thunder because I think just seeing the flash of lightning, which we know comes with sound, gives sort of an eerie feeling. And I hope it leaves viewers, at least, with a moment of reflection, wondering what they will speak up and be thunderous about. So what silences are you going to break today? Leave your thoughts in the comments. So, did you find this video helpful? If you did, someone else might as well. Please share it with them. You have my permission to use this in any classes or trainings to teach others. I will be making more of these videologies in the future, so if you have speeches for me to consider, please let me know. Again, I am Dr. Craig Engstrom, and I provide videos on a variety of topics aimed at crafting communication competence. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.